And good evening once again from the Coyotes Curling Club in Tempe, Arizona. This is the final draw of the Ed Werenich Golden Wrench Classic. This is Sean Murray bringing you coverage of this match between Steve Laycock from Saskatchewan and Daryl Sobering. To get things started, Team Sobering lead is Adam Kaufman. Team Sobering playing Red Rocks, Laycock playing yellow. Both of these teams have had not the greatest start to this event. They both come into this game at 0-3, still looking for the first win. With pools of 6, you play 5 games. You play everyone in your pool. Playoffs probably out of the picture for both of these teams, but just looking to finish on a high note. So we'll see if maybe they both throw a little bit of caution to the wind, maybe do things a little differently with no real pressure of any kind. Center guard up from Sobering. Steve Laycock's lead, Braden Grindheim, throws up the corner. Sobering asking Alex Kaufman for a high center. Apparently really wants to get into it. Second center established. That Laycock doesn't really have much of a choice but to draw around those. Beat Sobering there. Might be just a feather heavy. Just settles behind the tee line. Open the door a little bit from the second for Team Sobering, who I have been instructed to call Connor from California. If you have any questions, ask them. Also looking just a little bit heavy. Just kind of bounces off. Stops back 4 foot, second shot. So the Team Laycock second is Chris Heichert. He's going to look to come around those center guards and sit right on top of their own yellow stone in the back of the button there. Hard for line. This is diving towards the center, but it looks like it's clear of the guards. Nicely done. Laycock sitting 2 under the centers early. Once again, Connor from California is looking to place this one a little better than his last one. Just wants to be in front of these. A little short is okay. Sweepers are showing absolutely no interest in this rock. Must mean it's a little heavy again. Not a great result on that one there. Bounces off a little bit. Laycock still sitting 2. Chris Heikert's second shot of this end, he can drop another one in there and make an early serious mess for Team Sobering. Sweeper's working hard, and it just gets there. Oh, look at that lineup. Team Laycock sitting 3 with hammer. Putting Team Sobering in some serious heat early in this end. Our first look at the third from Team Sobering. This is Alex Silicki. It'll take a couple of good shots in succession to get Team Sobering out of this. This one is also heavy, running a lot. Oh my. Just a series of overthrows here. Has got Team Sobering in. It's becoming a world of hurt at this point. Laycock asking his third, Sean Meacham, to basically play this. You can come down into the pile, but if it stops short, like top 12, that's totally fine too. Last rejoined in the booth by my broadcast mate Eric Kowal.
Happy to be back. Absolutely. Doing those measurements.
Absolutely.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, important business.
Yeah. Updating the overall draw board.
Yeah.
You know, all the glamorous things that it takes to make a bond spiel or cash spiel happen.
Absolutely. I don't know if glamorous is the right word, but it's important.
I prefer glamorous.
Okay, glamorous it is then.
No, you're right though. Honestly, thank you to everybody else. You know, the ice crew and the people tending the bar and working the front desk. It is a lot of times unthanked work that takes, to make an event like this successful, and to also get teams like this to continue to come back.
Absolutely. Yep.
So. Yep. Thank you to everybody for your help this weekend thus far, and continued.
Absolutely. Yeah, events like this don't happen in a vacuum. They take a lot of people, a lot of work. So early advantage Team Laycock this end, sitting 2 buried with the hammer right on the button. At this point, just content to guard the situation. There's no real way in for Team Sobering at this point. Just a series of draws thrown heavy. Stuff bouncing off rather than stopping short. Last game, we were talking about tolerance a little bit. Just a couple of shots in a row where the tolerance was just on the wrong side. Something short can still be used, but anything that's thrown heavy it's going to go where it goes. It's taken out of the hands of the sweepers. All that stuff.
Yeah, right. At least give your sweepers a chance.
Yep.
That's the key. And if you stop short, at least maybe you create a jam situation as the pull rolling off and.
Yep. rolling off, and then it's probably not going to help you no matter what
Yep.
at that point. Yep. So Daryl Sobering's first stone of this end. He was looking to try and get down into that pile, somehow freeze in there for something useful. Maybe give himself some kind of a shot on his last, but he definitely he can't even sit second the way this is set up right now. This is a long way short.
You know, I was talking to Team Epping out there before the draw, getting ready, and I'd said, for years, going back to their History Channel jerseys, they've always had some classy looking jerseys, but I'm looking at these Sobering ones with the Rock Creek logo and like the kind of that mint green color and stuff. Those are nice.
They're nice. Yeah, very
good looking jersey.
Yeah, this Sobering team is a little bit of a cobbling together rink from the normal team playing this year.
They have like a 7-man rotation.
Something like that, yeah. Nick Myers is not here. We're all missing Bling Bling. Josh Chetwynd is not here. Aaron Johnston is not here. But I was told, and I'll tell you because I'm guessing you don't know, but we've been instructed to refer to the second as Connor from California.
Yes, Connor from California. So don't even bother with the last name. Just call Connor from California.
So it must be a really rough last name, I guess.
Yeah.
And fair enough. I was good with that. Makes no difference to me. So Steve Laycock's first stone of this first end doesn't quite get. He was motioning. He wanted it somewhere in the 8-foot to maybe bump in for a third point. It doesn't quite get there. Stops as a tight guard. Now 1 stone left for each skip. Sobering trying to look at what he has to maybe cut this end down. He can't sit shot. There's no way for him to count 1. He's trying to look at if there's some way for him to move one of those Laycock stones out of the button. And maybe he can get out of this with a force. As I said at the top of the broadcast, both of these teams have so far not had the tournament that they'd like. They're both 0-3. And in the same pool as John Schuster and Scott Dunham, who are both 3-0, playoffs is probably not happening for either of these teams. So it's just about finishing strong, salvaging a little bit of pride.
And honestly, for a team like Sobering, I don't know where they're at present, but get a couple of points to maybe move you into an automatic bid for nationals. No?
I believe the points.
Is that field set?
The points berths for nationals, I think, have already been announced.
Oh, okay, sorry, my bad.
No,
I haven't been paying attention.
No, that's okay. I know for sure one of the teams that won on points is Team Hodek.
Okay, yep. With Evan working and Hodek.
Evan and Hodek. And,
yep. Tim, yeah.
Yeah, and Nathan and Josh.
Okay.
But I cannot remember who the second team is. I'll feel really bad about that. But yeah, I have the rankings here. And Daryl tries a run, jostles things around a little bit, doesn't really change much. We're going to see what Steve might try here. He's looking at this yellow run because, if he pulls this off, I think 3 or 4 is a definite possibility. Because the angle of these stones, if he fires that yellow in that's on the right side of the screen, there's really no disturbing the stones that are currently counting. I don't see that happening. But the top red could go. It would hit on the 4th shot yellow at the moment, and that would go back towards the reds that are in the back of the 4-foot. This could be a number of points, and it's odd to have a shot like this where you're sitting 2 and you pretty much can't hurt yourself. I don't see any way in which he could hit this to where it would hurt himself, unless he's. I'm not going to say it. I don't want to give the commentators curse.
We experienced that last draw.
Yeah, so I'm just not going to say it. Let's just see what happens.
But it's first end. Why not take it? Throw the risk.
Well, the stone's out of his hands, so now I can say it. The only potential disaster would be if his almost noses it and somehow hits his yellow without touching any of the reds. But instead, he'll do that, and it's a nice shot for big 3 points and a good start for Team Laycock in this game. So yeah, talking about where these teams are standing currently this year, Team Laycock currently sits at 46th on the tour points list. Haven't played a whole lot of games this year. They're only on 15 wins and 10 losses. Excuse me. They lost the final of the S3 Group Curling Stadium Series, but perhaps most importantly is that they won the last chance qualifier to the Sasktel Tankard. So they are in the Sasktel Tankard, the men's provincial championship.
Chip in a chair.
Yep.
You can't win if you don't play.
That's right. That's right. So they've had an abbreviated season this year, but they're still in their provincials, and that's all they can ask for.
And Steve, honestly, great supporter of this event over the years. I think this is his 5th or 6th time coming. Always great to see, a curler of that caliber, a team of that caliber come. It's.
Yes.
I know you mentioned not having the event they probably wanted, but still, just good to have them here.
Oh yeah. There are a lot of teams that seem to show up here a lot of years. Like Steve Laycock shows up most years. John Schuster has been here a number of times.
Epping's been here, I think, 3rd or 4th time.
Epping's been here a number of times, absolutely.
Daryl Sobring's been here now 2 or 3 times.
James Gratton's been here a few times. Yeah, just there's a lot of teams that like to come to this event.
Yeah, Kaltoff's been here a couple of times. Yeah, I mean, we can keep the list going, right?
Yeah,
but it's exciting. It's nice.
Yeah, we like to see those teams. It's really nice. Adam Kaufman from Daryl Sobring trying to throw the corner guard, but it slips into the rings. Sobering team has kind of an expansive lineup. Their normal, I don't know if they really have a normal lineup per se, but they're on possibly a 7 or 8 person rotation almost. Daryl is there usually most other weekends, but the rotation of the other players changes. The team as it currently stands sits at 171 on the tour points list. They're at 17 wins, 18 losses. They've made a couple of quarterfinals this year, including at the Icebreaker Challenge, which is an early season event in St. Paul Cashville. They also made the semifinals at the MCT Shootout.
It's a good event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're a solid team, and one that I feel is often, probably overlooked more often than they deserve in the scene for as much as they play.
I remember playing Daryl in the 2015-2016-ish challenge round at Madison.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was the first time I had met and encountered playing against them. Yeah, that was a good event that year.
Yeah, Daryl's been around the circuit for a number of years. I'd be lying if I said I could remember the first time I crossed paths with him, but it's been a while. I've known him for a number of years.
Originally out of Ontario,
yes,
right?
Yeah, yes. A super nice guy.
Yeah.
Just a wonderful guy.
If you're looking for a home in the Colorado area,
he's the guy.
He's the guy.
Him and his wife. Mm-hmm. And his wife, Renee.
A few years ago, I was on an elk hunting trip in Colorado, and we were out on this ridge on this finger, and we had a storm move in super fast, unexpected, and there was lightning in the whole deal, and foolishly to an extent I got under a pine tree. And I got back to camp eventually after the storm blew over, and I said to my hunting partner, I said, I just about called Daryl Sobering to ask him to sell me this tree because I was going to live there. It was so miserable.
Oh,
I was ready to throw in the towel and be like, yep, this is my new home.
Yeah, this was a bad idea.
Yep.
With that, what I believe to be second shot stone for Sobering, pretty well guarded. unable to appeal. Laycock opted to throw another center. So with that, here comes Connor from California again. Just looking to clean up the center a little bit. Only gets one of them going, but rolls to another corner. So maybe not quite what they were looking for, but not too bad. Let's see how Steve wants to approach this setup. He's talking about running the corner back, trying to kill both Reds over here. Looks like that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, you're up 3, right? No need to play a tap or put up another guard or anything, right? Like, those are the stones that are going to hurt you, is those ones on the outer edge.
Exactly. So he's having Chris Heikert play this run back. Looks like it's over curling, just going to get the one. Oh, takes out their own in the house. Kind of a bad break there. See if Darryl wants to make use of that other corner guard over there. Looks like he does. Set up a good chance for a 2 here. Trying to respond to that 3 given up at the first end. But it looks pretty good if this one just doesn't really want to bury, though. And it's just shy of the tee line, but really not buried at all. And with that angle, there is a double there. It's probably about a thin half or so, right about where the broom is. This is Sean Meacham's first shot of this second end. Actually caught it a little too thin. Gets the first, but slides under the second one. Darryl opting to keep it simple, just going to split the rings. Try and set up that junior deuce that we talked about last game.
Yeah. And at this point, you're down 3. Maybe you try to keep it simple. But we also talked about how it's not easy to execute.
Yeah.
But
it requires consistent execution all the way down the lineup. I'll try and get this one to about the same depth as the other one, and that's pretty good. No double there. Sean Meacham's after the second end looking for a little bit of a roll. It was a really good roll all the way under the center guard. What a shot.
Very nice, yeah. And just like that junior deuce is gone.
Exactly. Yeah,
right?
That's right.
It lasted 1 shot.
Yeah. Again, it almost feels like a bit of a commentator's curse. We mentioned the junior deuce, and poof, there it goes.
Yeah.
So Alex Selecki's last shot of this second end. Going to clear the guard. They were also trying to roll in front of their own, but get really unlucky and just stuff it straight back. kind of shots have to be among the most frustrating in this game.
Yeah, because you know what? Honestly, even like just the straight peel's a better result, right? Like
Absolutely.
you've missed it too good in a
Right.
weird way.
Right. Yeah. It's and the line between being really good and being really bad is so fine on a shot like that. Like dead nose again. I mean, you can't ask for a worse result than that, and it's such bad luck. Now Steve with his first is going to look to make a hit and roll on this lone sobering red rock in the rings, and if he ever makes this, oh, Daryl's going to be in for some pain on his last 2 shots. I think Steve might have guessed this. Oh, no. Not sure what happened there. That just hurt a little more. It was a little quiet, but went right by it. Oh. Now Daryl's going to try to replicate what Alex did on his last shot, but this time on purpose.
Well, it's like we always talk about, we did it on accident. How tough can it be?
Well, we also sometimes talk about shots that we couldn't make if we tried,
Yeah.
because then we try them and they don't work. Curl.
And Steve essentially has the same shot as he had last time now.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
This time it's more about just making sure it goes. I mean, if you're rolling, that's fine. Probably wouldn't mind rolling dead in front of your own if you can help it. This just gets right to the nose, no problem. That's good enough for the force. So now for Daryl's last, just a basically open hit, mostly open hit on the shot stone. Sit there, pick up one. See if they can make a few more shots in the future ends. Oh,
Good sweep.
No problem. Great sweep. That was not far from wrecking that guard. So Sobering gets on the board with a single. That'll mean Steve Laycock will have the hammer and a 2-point lead in the third end. down 2 with no hammer. Soberin looking to get the offense going with center guards, and though that is a guard, it's not really a center guard. Stone in that position is going to be more of a nuisance than useful, really, to either team. We'll see. We've seen them cause havoc for other teams before, no question about it. That's more or less where they got called for. Maybe a little deeper than that, but just under that guard, that's a decent spot for them. Here was for Adam Coughlin to try and draw around everything. Get to the side of the 4 foot. This is...
That pick, that just went sideways.
I feel like that really... Daryl seemed really surprised by that. I feel like that must have hit something.
Yeah, and they're cleaning the ice there now.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, that's
kind of an unfortunate result. We never like to see picks happen, but they are part of the game, unfortunately. Steve is just going to keep things real simple. Just go to the other side of the rings. Sit a straightforward 2. It's a very non-threatening situation for him and his team right now. So, no real choice for Daryl on this one. He's got to just hit one. Hit the one he can see.
Yeah, maybe you get a roll, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he doesn't really have much of a setup to work with here for not having the hammer.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I understand they don't have hammer, but even for them, a blank wouldn't be the worst at this point, because then you could try to set up a steal.
Yeah. I mean,
you lose an end, but you're also not falling further behind.
You're not falling. Yeah, but
that didn't help.
A complete flash on an open hit is generally not helpful to any team's cause. That's for sure. Steve is going to really try to apply some pressure. Come around the wide side, and I really like to see teams do this. I love to see teams come wide around corner guards rather than try to draw around the center, because it may not curl much off the center.
Well, the other thing is, and if you're leaving something, you're leaving that outside edge, which is a harder edge to get at.
And even if you do manage to hit it, it's going to be rolling way away from the center.
Yep.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just visually tougher for the opposing thrower to try and hit something they can only see an outside piece of. Get it in there at the top of the 12-foot. Yeah, as I said earlier, this Steve LAYCOCK team has qualified for the Saskatchewan Men's Provincial Championship, the Saskatchewan Tankard, by winning the last chance qualifier. And so no doubt their sights are set on that, and that's in about a week and a half from now. It starts January 21st. hit. The call was just to stay there, but rolling over to the side there isn't so bad either. None of these yellow Laycock stones are really all that easy for Sobering to deal with. The two high ones are mostly lost under the guards, and that one that just rolled, I feel like you probably can't even quite see all of it from the hack. That being said, if anyone can see it, I feel like a lefty or southpaw probably could, and fortunately for Daryl, Alex Selecki is just that. So he probably has a better pass on it than us right-handers. Let's see if he can make a good one here and get his team out of some trouble. Makes contact, but doesn't hit it very hard. Rolls off and leaves Laycock sitting 2 for sure, and might still be sitting 3. Laycock choosing to ignore that red sobering stone. It may not even be out counting any of his own, just going to draw another one in there. Careful, they're losing a line a little bit on this one. Ooh, just gets by half 8 foot. Laycock sitting 3 definitely. I would say 4 probably. Don't have the best angle on those 12-foot biters. Alex Selecki's second shot of this third end is a pretty important shot. Try to draw around that cluster in the top 12 foot, come down to the back one, try to outcount all of these. If this is not made, this could turn into a huge end for Team Laycock. This looks like it's over curling by quite a lot. More than that, it's also just way short. Boy. Sean Meacham's last of this. They're going to bring another one in, try and just load on the pressure. They get it there. Might just have a tiny piece of the 8 foot. So we're looking at what he has to try and cut this end down. This is really ugly to look at when you don't have the hammer. Just a quick look around at the other scores going on in this draw. We have John Epping has a 3-0 lead over Dustin Kaltoff. Looks like those are all steals. Kaltoff has had to hammer that whole game. Ethan Sampson and our hometown 5-0 team, Darren Campbell, are tied at 1 each.
Oldest kids you'll ever meet.
Absolutely. Isn't that the perfect description? Yeah. And then you've got, we also have James Grattan and Renee Camo. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'm sorry if I butcher names here. Camo with a 3-2 lead, playing the third end. Sobering's first of this third end is away, and he just feathers the guard and disturbs some of the yellows and manages to... I think that one might still be biting. So sitting a definite 3, and I would wager sitting 4. Steve Laycock just going to bring another one into the rings. Daryl Sobering looked at a disaster piece with his last.
Yeah, depending what happens here, I mean, this could be over before it starts almost. One of those types of...
Yes, this could be over very, very quickly. I mean, you're the team without Hammer. You're down 2 already, and you're looking at your opponent sitting definitely 4, probably 5. What do you even do here?
I mean, obviously you need to roll more than a stone, because if you roll 1 stone, it's an easy run back. But at the same time, like,
yeah,
you're still keeping a fairly large scoring area for him to at least get his 1. But the way things are going, it's
tough.
It's tough.
I mean, I feel like almost the best thing you could do is just play the double on first and third shot, and then you roll buried, and you won't be shot, but at least you'll be second.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're looking at right now, right?
I don't know what else you do. I really don't, because I don't think just playing a hit and roll off of shot is any good, because, as you say, you roll dead under third shot, it's a nose run back for 4. And I wouldn't exactly bet the farm on Steve Laycock missing a 2-foot run back.
Apropos being he's from Saskatchewan.
Fair. Yeah, it was just a collection of misses, really, all the wrong way this end for Team Sobering. You had center guards over curl or come up light and end up being corner guards, and come arounds end up coming up short, and that's a large part of why they find themselves in this really bad situation.
Play the double. I think that's a shot. Because we just throw it same ice.
So I think Daryl's going to make the best of a bad situation, try and take a crack at this double. See if he can clear 2 of these, maybe even hide the stone that he's about to throw and cut this down to a shot for 2. And I think that's just the best case scenario he can hope for. Sobering's last of the third end. Big shot to keep this game going, mostly.
This is curling on him.
This might break the top. Oh. Well, when everything settles down. Laycock is sitting 3.
Ooh.
Wow.
If you're feeling it,
Well, I mean,
why not?
I mean, you make the hit and stay. That's 5, and that's probably game over. I don't know that you necessarily need to play the double for 6. You could also just play the draw for 4.
Yeah.
I feel like the draw for 4 is probably enough.
I like just kind of the hit and stick myself. Hit and maybe roll to the center a stone.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, this is also hammer.
Yeah. But I'm just saying the roll, just that way you take away that jam on the 1 and the 4 foot. But
yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
looks like they're just drawing, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're already sitting 3. You're guaranteed no less than a 5-point lead.
Yep. Having said that, I'm talking you into the double. No.
You're not talking me into the double. No, sirree. I am drawn for 4 every time. Every time. I mean, I like 5-unders, don't get me wrong, but there's just no reason to play it in this situation. Sweepers aren't laying off of this. Going to make sure it's there. I just got to basically touch the 8-foot. And it's there with no mistake. So it's 4 on the board for Laycock. Now that's a 7-1 lead after 3 ends. Really just too many mistakes by Team Sobering in that end. Just not getting stuff in the right position. What there's not really a whole lot else to say. Team Laycock was pretty good in placing their draws. So with a commanding 6-point lead, the game has gotten very, very simple for Team Laycock. Keep a minimum of rocks in play. They will be all too happy to let Team Sobering have 2 or even 3 if they can manufacture it somehow. Sobering lead, Adam Kaufman trying to set up the corner guard, and once again, just a miss the wrong way, slides that into the house, and you're behind on the scoreboard. You're trying to set up offense with the hammer. You just can't do that. So makes the hit, and just for good measure, rolls to grab a piece of the button, too, right in the middle.
And our apologies on the sheet D score. We had the color flip-flopped, which means the score was flip-flopped, so it's Groton up 3-2 over Renee.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Appreciate that correction, Eric. Thank you.
Well, that was scorers there. Dang scorers.
Those scorers are volunteers, as are we all.
Yeah, that was the score. I once made a mistake when I thought I was wrong.
Funny how that happens. So the guard is put up, but this time pretty high. Still potentially usable. With those two in the middle, Sobering's not going to have a lot of choice but to start dealing with these as soon as they can.
At this point, when you're Laycock, you're up 7-1. Despite what Sobering does, do you just start peeling your own guards or their guards, right? Like, just the only stones in play that can hurt you or the only stones that can hurt you are the ones in play. Or do you just keep the pressure on?
I almost feel like you keep the pressure on because, you know, I mean, just the way this game has gone so far, no one is statting these games, but it's pretty clear that Team Laycock is out-shooting Team Sobering by a significant margin. And they seem to be placing their draws pretty well and making what they need to make. So I feel like that's been working for them so far, and they're not really all that concerned. They feel like they can just put stuff where they need to.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
No, that's why I asked the question, right?
Yeah. You know, this big a margin, they keep making the shots they make. I mean, they score again. They get another steal of one or two. They make it handshakes. So we'll see. This next shot will determine that a lot. Steve's going to stay on the offense. He's going to keep throwing the guards. You could make an argument for peeling that red that's way up there, but he likes the position he's in, and I feel like I would probably do the same.
Yeah, no, I understand the doing either.
Yeah,
that's why I asked.
And neither is wrong,
yeah.
Really. You know, just to this point, he hasn't really seen anything that, you know, makes him think that they're good. They're gonna get themselves out of this situation. So he's just gonna keep making them have to deal with it. So second shot for Connor from California. You know, the way these are lined up, you could get all of these yellows moving if you hit them just right. But this looks like it needs to curl to do that. Just gets the one. Steve will just put it back.
Yep, stones weren't even out of play before he had the broom down.
Yeah. He's like, I'm just going to keep putting this back. Because I like how I'm sitting. I don't need to do anything. He's making things as tough for Team Sobering as he needs to. Sweepers seem like this. Yeah, I mean, when your team is placing guards as precisely as they are, why would you switch? I think, based on this broom, Daryl's trying to have Alex Lecky, I think, come through the port between the red and the yellow guards and hit second shot. This is a very, very tough shot because of how these guards are staggered.
Is it possibly because he's left-handed?
It could be. Well, and then he gets through and he makes a hit and he still rolls out. I actually was talking about that last end. That Daryl called a play on a stone on the shooter's perspective on the right-hand side of the sheet that for right-handed players like you and I, we probably would barely be able to see, but I bet Alec could probably see it because he's a southpaw.
Yep. Those few degrees make a big difference.
They do. They really do.
And I think back to many moons ago, there was a broadcast. It was an exhibition in Canada where they went to one hack.
Oh, like just right in the middle.
Yep.
Splitting the center line.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's one of those, the subject comes up now and again. Like, at what point is that going to happen?
I have heard that talked about a lot of times over the years.
Right? But there's no reason it doesn't exist.
Yeah. I don't see why we don't do it. I don't really know what the difference is. I mean, you get your foot on the center line rather than the stone.
Yeah.
It really kind of, I don't know if negates the advantage is the term I want to say, but makes it a little more even, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would totally be in favor of that.
Less work for the ice crew.
Well, absolutely.
Right? Just,
one hack versus two.
yeah, well, multiplied times 4 sheets, 2
Yep.
ends, right?
Yep.
Like it's no, but yeah, no. There's certain things that we all love about this sport because they're quirky.
Yeah.
But the fact that we don't have like one hack is probably one of them.
Yeah, it's
The things we focus on, though, brush head covers and foam and just different stuff, right? Standardization of materials.
right.
Why wouldn't we standardize the hack?
Well, and I feel like that's kind of a holdover from curling's old days when it was more about, especially when everyone used a lift delivery, and that was the center line
Yep.
was the line where the rock swung,
Yep.
and it came down on the line, and
Yep.
that way it was the same for everybody. Now it's more about the rock is right in front of you,
Yep.
and it starts there and it ends there, and so the rock is not on the center line.
Yeah.
At least, generally speaking, that's what's being taught. And so it ends up exaggerating the difference in shooting perspective from left-handers versus right-handers. And a single hack would definitely lessen that difference.
Yeah.
So I have long thought there's merit in that idea. But also, curling being a 500-year-old sport, who knows how easy it will be to change something as ingrained as that.
Well, but I don't disagree. But at the same time, we've gone from the 3 rock rule,
Yes.
now we're at the 5 rock rule and
Yes.
the no tick zone.
Right.
And, and they've toyed with different timing options,
It could certainly happen.
right?
Certainly happen.
Like,
Yes.
of all the things we've experimented with.
Right. Yeah. I feel like that would be a fascinating thing to try at some sort of, maybe not necessarily a full-on slam, but some kind of exhibition event.
Yeah, right? Like,
I forget what event it was. It was some mixed doubles event years ago when they were experimenting with timing, and they actually had the timing synchronized across the sheets. So every player was throwing at the same time.
it was the Continental Cup in Las Vegas.
Thank you. That was
I
it.
remember because I was there
Yes.
in attendance,
Yes.
and it was not good.
It seems like more of a sideshow when they do that.
Yeah, well, the players were confused,
Oh,
and
yeah.
everybody was confused, and I'm throwing a hit, you're throwing a draw, and
Yeah.
now we have to wait, and
Uh-huh.
there was music in between shots. It
Yes, I remember that too. The music in between the shots.
Right.
It was almost like a carnival event.
Yeah,
It just kind of,
but to see where mixed doubles is at today from where it was then,
yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at. So Steve Laycock's final stone, this fourth end. Sitting one, already behind a mess of guards.
Real good. Line's real good.
bring a second one into play here. He'd like to settle kind of on top of his own. Sit 2. No mistake there. Well done. Now for Daryl's last. There may technically be a draw to the button there, kind of. I think he's talking about maybe trying to wick off of this 4th shot. I don't know about this. I feel like there's no way to score playing this shot. Unless he's trying to make a triple.
Yeah, if you make obviously the top one goes, and you get the middle one to squirt out a little, and the one that's currently shot gets pushed back.
I don't know.
I like it.
Well, I guess he figures I kind of have to get 2.
You got to do something.
I kind of have to get 2, and
yep. Maybe
maybe this is, but I have to imagine that if he doesn't score here, it would probably be handshakes. Oh, that's a pretty good pass, honestly.
Yeah.
Pretty good pass at it, but as it goes, it's going to end up being a steal of another one for Laycock. That's going to be an 8-1 Laycock lead, and that's going to do it. That'll be enough. So that'll be a win for Steve Laycock. They go to 1-3. Daryl Sobering dropped to 0-4, still looking for their first win. And they'll have the chance tomorrow in their final pool play game. And that'll do it for us here in Coyotes Curling Club, Tempe, Arizona. For Eric Cole, Sean Murray signing off from the Ed Werenich Golden Wrench.
Live updates on Curling Zone for the other 3 sheets.
Live updates on Curling Zone for the other 3 sheets. Thank you very much. Have a good night, everybody.